Alright, welcome back. In the last video I took out the Turismo Veloce with the smart clutch and I had a lot of fun on that bike, but that could be considered perhaps the gentleman's choice of the MV Agusta range. And now for something altogether more hooliganish, I would say. This is an out and out, you know, beast of a bike, and both the styling of this Dragster RR and the specs, it's a quick bike. And perhaps a little bit less compromising in terms of comfort than something like the Turismo Veloce, but that's not really, big miles aren't what it's about thrills and, you know, having a good blast. A quick run through the basic specs. So 140 horses, so despite the fact that it is the 800cc triple that you'll find a variant of in the Turismo Veloce, this is a far more tuned up version, a far more sporty ride to it. 87 newton meters of peak torque, so plenty of torque on tap still, and it's a little bit lighter as well, so 168 kilos dry. So combined, I'm, you know, looking forward to getting on this one. So this iteration of the Dragster has been out since the end of last year, beginning of this year, and I believe the previous model, although some people really enjoyed it, a little bit twitchy, perhaps a little bit snatchy on the throttle. So there's some big changes here to address some of those issues. So a longer swing arm, different head tube angle, and a bit more resistance in the throttle, smooth things out a bit, make it a little bit more amenable, but still aggressive bike to ride. You've also got a different gearbox and a more aggressive cam profile, but there's also been big changes to the ergonomics as well. Wider bars, a different feel to the shape of the tank, and also a bit more room to maneuver on the seat, slide around a little bit more. So that the previous iteration, you'd be a little bit more locked into the position, whereas here you've got a bit more room for maneuver. I've got to say as well, before I take this bike out, just how good looking it is in the flesh. There's some really nice little design touches on this machine. Tail end is absolutely lovely. In fact, the whole subframe is a piece of art in itself. You've got that little hole there that you can see directly through, but even little things, the passenger foot pegs, allow me to demonstrate quickly. Almost invisible and then just fold out like that. I just think it's absolutely lovely to look at, and especially on those Canary wheels, which on their own are about a £3 purchase if you wanted to upgrade any bike with a wheel set like that. You know, they really set it off and the whole thing just looks cracking. So anyway, again, enough of this. I just want to take it for a spin, really. Flipping heck, I've just pulled over to switch my GoPros on. Whenever I test a bike out like this, I'll, you know, I shot a little intro at the dealer back there at Krazy Horse, and then I normally like to get a few miles in before I start filming, just to get a bit of a feel for the bike and assemble my thoughts a little bit. So yeah, I was just pootling around. I didn't really realise I had it in sport mode, and I just sort of turned onto a side road there in second gear and just thought, oh, it's like wide open, just give it a bit of welly, and the front wheel just popped up so quickly. And I'm not a man who can wheelie really, or performs wheelies on a regular basis. I normally ride a street twin around central London. It's very tranquil and easygoing type riding, so I'm now in normal engine mode. This thing is, as I said, you know, 140 horses. It's got oodles of torque, the triple, and it's a nice light bike as well, so yeah, it'll fly when you want it to. The motor sounds absolutely cracking. In terms of braking, again, we've got dual MOTOBOB Brembos up front. They haul you up really quickly. It's a Nissan master cylinder, I believe, here, but easily good enough. And then the ride on this bike, I mean, it's firm as you'd expect, but it's not uncomfortable. The handling, I mean, the handling is kind of interesting. You know, David was just telling me that they've lengthened the swing arm to make it a little bit less twitchy. Oh my god, you can feel that, you know, it's not super twitchy, and nice wide bars as well kind of help the situation. We also talked a little bit before about some changes to the riding position to make it a little bit more easy to get along with. I do like the width of the bars. Like, you've got plenty of leverage, And you can feel how the saddle's been lengthened out as well. There's definitely a bit of room to move backwards. This bike is basically exactly what you'd expect it to be, absolutely rapid, not really any creature comforts to speak of. It's like a nice position, but it's really just focused on out for a fun blast. It's just a lot of fun. I mean, whew.